for all the pretenders next to SKT.
That's true. And so we go into Game 2 of this series. If you're just joining us, stakes are high for KT Rolster. With a win here, they can lock up the number 2 seed. Otherwise, they may be at the mercy of CJ Entis next week. And CJ, I believe, has to play Anarchy next week. Oh no, they don't. This is Anarchy's last game.
Who will play Spenno on the Thursday? Sorry, on Wednesday we have the SKT versus Najin game, and just one more. I believe CJ have a match as well that day.
Yeah, CJ will be playing later, of course. So
the picks and bans this game, it's much of the same. You know, this time on the red side, so trying to ban away what they can, specifically from Mickey's champion pool. They banned away the Zed. Do they go for another Mickey ban? They're actually going to ban the Elise, so Mickey largely untouched this game.
Well, guess what's up? It's Rise again. First pick Gnar. Apparently this is Ixu's new champion.
That's crazy. Over what's available, think about the
I think that's
champions.
actually insane.
That's Snowflower's Thresh is up. You mentioned Rise is available. Even if they like the Gnar vs Rise matchup.
But here's the thing. Now Anarchy's not going to pick Rise unless they want to play mid lane Rise. So why not just take Thresh? Why not just take other priority picks? Take a jungler right now. Take Gragas.
Ixu's champion pool may be the issue here, Monte Cristo. This is a guy who played a lot of Hecarim. Hecarim very much out of the meta. Maybe they just feel, and look, he definitely showed he can play Gnar, but them having to prioritize it this highly over everything that's up is just mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, it is, especially when we think about Ixu. Like you said, he played Maokai and Hecarim all season. Those were his 2 big picks. He's
Maokai
also
disabled. Is that what we've learned today?
Maybe. It's so weird.
No one is playing Maokai. Maokai is just dead.
Victor and Echo. So Score, one of the few Korean junglers who will default to Echo. He's probably the best Echo jungle that exists in Champions. Really does know how to set up those abilities.
3-1 on that champion. Now, who does Echo synergize well but the Maokai in the top lane? So a boy can dream. Haven't been following Riot's lore. I don't think Maokai's dead, so probably still enabled in this particular game.
Maokai was chopped down by Lumberjack Scion in the lore. RIP.
Rest in peace.
He actually tripped and lit himself on fire with that stupid lantern he has behind his head.
That's why Brand was in the LPL. Wait. That's not grayed out. They're thinking about it.
They are thinking about it. Maokai, the obvious synergy here with
Maokai Cogmore here would be pretty outrageous.
Yeah, great front line. It would delay a lot of the threats from Anarchy. And Anarchy, again, opting for a composition with not fantastic primary engage. Looks like they'll hold on to their AD carry. That's probably a wise move. Thinking about the Battle Cattle, Alistar, I like it. I think they should have taken Alistar last game, but
it was available, but you're saying too much, and they're actually really adjusting their picks late in the draft. Yep, Maokai must be disabled, that's all we know. It's 5 games of the night, no Maokai. They're going to go with the Shen, though.
If you go for Shen, take the Alistar. That's what I think now. We've got a great kiting composition from KT Rolster, but very limited engage potential.
Is it just Ahri again for Mickey? Worked pretty well the previous game. He's good at that champion. They win a lot with it, which is the most impressive thing. Even in games where he's fallen behind, the Ahri itself has done fine. Twisted Fate is the champion that fell through the picks and bans, and it's locked in.
I love it. Mickey, definitely a skilled TF player, one of his most played champions in solo queue. And now he's looking to affect those other lanes. They think, hey, you got the Shen, we're going to take double globals too.
Always tantalizing to see the likes of the Shen, the likes of the Twisted Fate, 2 summoner teleports as well. These 5v5 team fights can open up anywhere, but the question is, do you feel safe enough to go Cogmore? Because honestly, I don't like opting into Vayne against Twisted Fate with that 10, 12-second reveal with the Destiny.
No, I don't think you do that.
It has to be a hyper carry, surely.
But you're not going to be too thrilled. I think that you go Corki here and play safely because the Kog'Maw still will be vulnerable. And you have a lot of damage in Victor. So It's not the worst pick.
I mean, the big issue is that once again, you're opting into purely magic damage. No physical damage lineup in game 1. 53 minutes in, there's no surprise that even a team that wasn't really built for team fighting could itemize so cleanly against what you're putting out. And once again, KT, exclusively magic damage across the board.
Yeah, and a tough time for Echo ganks. He's really not going to be able to do anything in the bottom lane.
I think you should just pick Sivir Monte Cristo. It was available, it's his highest win rate champion, it's got a KDA over 10. I know it's not ideal, but at least it does the true physical damage that your team desperately needs.
Well, at that point, though, you may be overly reliant on some sort of lane swap scenario. We've seen a lot of Sivers lose pretty hard to the Lucian in the laning phase.
I don't know what to say. Tristana, anything else?
I don't know, Papa Smithy. Tristana is another champion you probably want to lane swap with here. And in the end, KT ends up with a very defensive style of team comp. Very good peel, but Mickey, he's there on the Twisted Fate. They've got a way into the back line if they can land those gold cards, and we'll see if Mickey can match the play of Someday on his preferred Shen out of the top lane this game. Not good ganking for score, to say the least.
And look, if Ixu this time maybe go more selfishly into the Black Cleaver, if he can outpower this Shen, if he can out-split push Someday, it's going to be real problems for KT to deal with the multiple 1-3-1 split push that might come out.
Yeah, eyes on Lyra, eyes on Mickey this game. Can they make it work? Anarchy coming in for game 2 against KT. Well, Papa Smithy, what a statement it would be from Anarchy coming into this season with a bang, 2-1 over Najin. Can they leave it with a 2-0 over KT and a 2-0 over Jin Air? There would be a lot of questions raised about them in that particular instance.
Rebels Anarchy, they do things a bit differently. Look at Mickey, not into that ghost, not into that teleport. Ignite Twisted Fate. That first Destiny, a lot going to be committed to making the kill work. And honestly, it might be on to Shen, maybe just to get Ixu in particular on. Because let's remember, they first picked Na when the likes of Ryze and the other priority picks like Thresh were available, and they still get the Thresh onto Snowflower.
Yeah, I'm a bit curious. I'm a bit curious about that. The Echo pick so early makes me raise my eyebrow a tad. You really worried about Anarchy taking Echo here?
The one thing that KT can do, if you put Trinity Force Corki in a lane, the threat of the parallel convergence, the reality of the gravity field W from Nagne, they have a lot of good zones for Trinity Force Corki to push down turrets. They have good dragon control. Potentially they have the Shadow Dash into parallel convergence, but it's not the Maokai that... They've already... Shen, Maokai, it's still going to be magic damage committal, but the tree chopped down in our hearts.
I'm so surprised about this. Sure, Gnar has been rising as a very safe top laner that you can blind pick into any matchup and do okay.
W start from Ixu.
Yeah, that is interesting, actually. So
watching this is not interesting.
Watching this is not interesting, but we are going to see the lane swap. That will be helpful for KT Rolster.
Oh boy.
And the early roam here.
Oh my goodness.
Onto the blue buff. Shen is there. Shen is simply going to get level 2 off the Wolves and head into lane. They see Thresh. They do not see Lyra, and the blue buff steal coming through.
Definitely need the precise runes and masteries that Ixu had to pull off the W start solo down the Gromp. He lived on 1 tick of health, so to say that was risky is an understatement.
Yeah, especially when you're doing it on that weak side. Could have been a Janna waltzing in there with the W. Score, interestingly this time, if we look at KT's jungle pathing, they started out the Wolves and then went over to the red side, so they have a chance to get 3 buffed here, depending on how Lyra wants to play around the blue.
They have full information that the blue was not started by Anarchy at the start of the game, because Peekaboo already went for a walk. So, good knowledge of that. So, as you mentioned, there is the 3 buff potential as Peekaboo goes for a walk. Relegated to Janna duty. Certainly not the pick potential of the Thresh, which was available to be selected.
It was. Echo priority here today. And but they got the lane swap, Papa Smithy. They're not going to be so worried about that anymore. They will be able to dodge the more painful parts of the Corki versus Lucian lane and work their way up to a possible Trinity Force. Pink Ward already in the river, placed there by Peekaboo, so some early vision down. Score is here. Score's going to have to phase dive over the wall to avoid Lyra and Mickey. That's not a 2v2 he's going to be happy to take early on.
Actually amuses me as we see Someday take a nice damage trade, but Peekaboo walks into lane. Amuses me that even in this matchup that Ixu finds himself in, of course, after the lane swap, nice hook on Peekaboo. But after the lane swap, it's the Corki versus Na matchup. Can still happily go Hex Drinker and go into basically the same build we saw last time.
Yeah, definitely not going to be so much worried. And now Score coming down, trying to punish them, and wow, flash for free there. Very preemptive flash by Snowflower, and here we go, parallel convergence, but Score just backs out after tossing the bomb into lane.
Dropping them bombs.
Yeah, unfortunately, unlike most bombs, it doesn't do much of anything at all.
It's a very counterintuitive bomb where you have to get into its radius for happy times.
Yeah, that is
You need to opt into the bomb.
I mean, but everything about Echo is a lie anyway, considering that he's not a time traveler, he's a space traveler, because he doesn't go back in time, he just goes to a different point in space where he was 4 seconds ago.
Isn't that changing in time and space?
No, it's not, because the time still ticks forward, Papa Smithy.
Does he take a ride in the time and relative dimensions in space?
No.
No TARDIS rides?
He just goes back in space. So everything about his time traveling is patently false.
Is he ever lost in space?
Well, maybe when he plays CJ.
Oh, that's about as many sci-fi references as we can make. I'm always intrigued by the Echo, and I guess moving into the next patch, AP Echo will have to become the norm. Maybe even Runeglaive AP Jungle Ezreal, AP Jungle Echo will have to be an interesting consideration, just given that a lot of the power was shifted to AP ratios in 5.15, but still have a couple of weeks.
Here we go. There's a good gank. Oh, forces the flash. Nicely done by Score. That's one less threat for the next 5 minutes. Couldn't have come at a better time, too. Mickey about to hit 6, so that is not going to be good for a possible first Destiny gank.
Does have the Ignite, though, that may be the ultimate equalizer. If there is any chip damage coming on to the likes of Corki in a side lane. Doesn't really look like a tasty Destiny target just yet, but big thing it does, you've got a warrior jungler in terms of Lyra. I guess it could still be the Cinder Hulk, but maybe going to be Lyra going to stop the back. Very nice onto Nagne. But you've got an invading jungler in Lyra, both in playstyle and in champion pick. And the threat of the Destiny mean that you'll always have the reactions as Someday.
Oh, Lyra's here. Someday's going to have to get over the wall. Is this going to be that first gank? No. Flash over the thick part of the wall. It's a difficult flash.
It is a difficult flash, but the moment that the Q went wide from Lyra, they were never realistically going to have enough damage, even with the Summoner Spell Ignite, to pick up the kill. So, first Destiny goes awry.
Yeah, it wouldn't have worked even with the flash. Trying to dive that turret on a full HP Shen may have not turned out so well for them. So, Anarchy held in check, at least for the moment, but they have developed a nice little gold lead with the Twisted Fate passive and some extra CS here and there.
Twisted Fate have the same old passive that saw him a permaban a couple of seasons ago, but still selfishly gets a lot of gold. Snowflower caught out, gonna back away. A lot of members around mid again, no flash.
No flash, here we go. Oh! Barely missing out on that stun, and they're okay. Peekaboo, calm down there. He flashed and exhausted for that. That was a miscommunication. The rest of his team didn't know he was going in.
The trademark razor-sharp communication between KT members, specifically Score and Peekaboo, noticeably absent in that haphazard turret dive.
Yeah, very poorly done by KT, and they won't get a kill for it. Mickey, I'm actually impressed that Mickey even managed to get out of that parallel convergence. It was
Boots 2?
Really, really close.
Yeah, the Boots 2 purchase, I think, was the big factor. Actually goes straight into more Boots purchase. Couldn't even afford a potion, but this is what sometimes you need to do against these Victor matchups. We have seen what happens if Victor can get that first outer turret. You can just create so much pressure on the map, reminiscent of the Twisted Fate as Snowflower.
Oh, gonna grab Peekaboo. Remember, Peekaboo's no flash. He is gone. First blood for Songyun, and that is the price he will pay for not having that flash available.
He died through the Stand United ultimate as well, used during that engage, and died still instantly.
Wow, an impressive amount of damage early on. Snowflower didn't even have to use the Ignite there. Janna very squishy, but Peekaboo, due to his roams, was only level 4.
Level 4, no summoners as you mentioned, just being far too aggressive on that engage. Peekaboo, this guy, has been the uptick in results. Now, before Peekaboo joined the lineup, 11 and 10 in the first 21 games. In the back half of the season, 15 and 5, not including their loss in the previous game. So he's certainly been a good luck charm. He's made some excellent plays, but this game, just a bit too aggressive, and maybe it's because they find themselves in this uncomfortable position of game in the hole against Rebels and...
Well, you still have to be confident in your late game, though, because the Lee Sin is going to fall off, particularly compared to the Echo. When we talk about controlling objectives, KT has such a big advantage over that when we talk about Dragon, when we talk about Baron, that they just need to play it cool. It's not like Lucian is a big late game carry threat.
But it's not like Magic Resist doesn't completely shut down KT. I mean...
Well, Arrow has to get an Infinity Edge this game. He can't go for a Bloodthirster build again, that is for sure.
Even Blade the Ruin King will be much better than Bloodthirster. Bloodthirster will be very large chance of the no damage Corki that has sometimes betrayed Arrow. Ixu's going to go offensive, and speaking of offensive...
Yeah, another hook landing. They chunk out Arrow and have to body block that culling. Arrow ate the Ignite, so Snowflower making the difference with this Thresh in this laning phase. It is becoming highly problematic. Score trying to get some Raptors from the enemy. This is a bit risky, though, considering that he has no control over the bottom side.
And this is just the reality of the Lucian Corki matchup. Corki has the slow-moving Phosphorus Bomb. Lyra gonna face check Score.
Yep, Time Winder coming in, not really gonna do any damage. Phase dive forward. Score has his Raptor buff procced, but there is no answer. And except for now, there's the Destiny. What's going to happen to Score? Going to flash right there, then Chrono Break back, but Songyun is there. Remember, no duo lane, so Anarchy skirmishing well, reacting to that play, and that is why you do not counter jungle when that happens. You can go into that bottom jungle when you have pressure, but Anarchy able to freely roam, and they counteract Score's play. What is it today with risky counter jungling resulting in kills?
A risky Dragon start, actually, that Nani's going to come face check. It's going to be a lot of damage. Someone's going to fall down here, especially with the Stand United use.
Arrow with the Valk forward. He's caught in the Dragon Pit right now. Mickey on the backside, and Someday comes through with the ultimate. They lose 2 and a Dragon. Well, tonight has not been the best night of League of Legends, Papa Smithy.
Nope, it has not. Emphatically, but I'm really liking watching this Anarchy lineup just because they started off super one-dimensional. That was enough to pick them up their early wins. That was enough to get them a nice start to the season. Then predictably, they fell off, the sophomoric fall. But it's nice to see as we get to the end of the season, this team playing as this team. Remember, they only have 5 members in the squad, so they don't have the ability to switch around the roster. But Ixu, Lyra, Mickey and Songyun all having individually strong games, and you just hope that with their better infrastructure, Kesper stepping in and really helping them flesh out a support structure, I hope we see this team in largely the same form next season, and they don't get kind of bitten apart by people trying to come and steal the likes of Mickey and Lyra away.
Yeah, those are going to be the big pickups, obviously, but Ixu, he was targeted by KT as a potential player for the future, and KT has... they've developed Someday over a number of years.
So many at this point. Still so young. The tender age, despite debuting in, what, 2012?
Yeah. Yes. He started playing when he was 15 professionally. So it's been quite some time.
Someday Kid Zatai, the youngest of veterans.
Yeah, indeed. He's really gained new legs this year, though. This has really been his year to shine, which sounds weird because he won Champions in summer last year, but he wasn't the same kind of threat that he is now.
Exactly, and he was also, when it comes to terms of priority, or in terms of carry, he was very far down the totem pole. You remove Kakao, from lineup as we see some nice skirmishing.
Nice parallel convergence. That's going to mean Lyra takes a lot of damage. Phase dive over, gets the Dragon's Rage, but are they going to be able to finish it? Rocket, Q, auto, Nagne with the kill.
And that's why you see that Q augment second over any other purchase. The chasing it gives you is just so disgusting. So able to pick up the kill. Maybe it's going to be the Nagne show this time, Monte Cristo, as he's taking over this game. 2-0-1, 12 CS advantage in lane as well.
Well, looks like we will have a Lichbane first for Mickey, but that means that split push is going to be the name of the game. Mickey does have flash up, parallel convergence zoning to the outside. Okay, flashes backwards, but he's not going to live through the Chaos Storm. There is no help. Lyra scrambling to get back onto the map, and he doesn't make it there in time.
And all that gold spent on keeping his turret up means nothing. Still goes down at 14 minutes into the game from the nice roam from Peekaboo and Score. Seeing why Score loves this Echo, as even though he doesn't have the point-and-click stuns in lane, the likes of Twisted Fate and Maokai that synergize so well with the Echo, still making it work.
Yeah, and how is he going to split push at this stage? 0-2-0. Sheen, not the item that you want for wave clear. And Victor now has the chance. What KT needs to do is continue to get deep wards in, have Nagne play aggressively onto the tier 2 tower, and Mickey just simply can't match his wave clear.
He can't match the wave clear. It does have good wave clear, but doesn't have the AP behind it to really chunk down the waves. Both of these champions unique in having that instant line wave clear, and you have enough AP and you can just take out the backline as it's coming to lane with the wild cards, but not when you're so far behind and spent 1,500 gold on your boots.
Yeah, too much, and we know what happens. Peekaboo and Score, this is where they shine. Can they get into the enemy jungle reliably? Can they start that roaming? Peekaboo on Janna this game, so it won't be as effective, but it's still that vision that KT plays around, and even SKT was unable to deal with a similar situation once the invade started. They fell to KT in the end.
Perfect Hex Core is the big purchase from Nagne. This has become increasingly common. Surprised to see it a little bit, but of course the ability power scales up. You get that W, which honestly it's been getting a lot of effect, that kind of black hole sucking people into the middle. Getting the stun effect has proved very important in team fights, so surprising to see the increased reliance on it, but increasingly common.
Well, it's also extra dangerous because it can set up a parallel convergence.
True.
That's pretty, or even a massive taunt. So I think with this team composition, it does make a lot of sense to do that. Score now, starting his invade mission. He's going to take away that red buff, and here we go, fighting in the bottom side. Shen ult coming on through, onto Peekaboo. He's going to flash forward so that they can dive the turret. Taunt misses. They're still going to flash forward and kill him. And there is Mickey trying to get in position for that, but he gets found out. The big dive from KT Rolster. They're not done yet. Lyra coming through. Nagne's there with the speed boost, and Lyra tries to turn it around, but he is just the latest in a long line of victims. Ixu not TPing there. That was a great play by Nagne to find Mickey before he could make a move. And this is the problem with losing that tier 1 as TF. You're all of a sudden have more distance to TP over to the tier 1 in the side lane, so you have to go on a long jog, and he is just intercepted and destroyed by Nagne.
And as you're trying to match the wave, because we'll see the replay come through. It was an early Destiny after Snowfire was largely going to be picked, but Nagne interrupts it with the flash ultimate, still has that interruption of channeled ability and just assassinates the Twisted Fate.
Yeah, that's one of the things we actually rarely see Chaos Storm used for, but it is interesting that it is still there.
Yeah, it's something you don't consider. I mean, the big issue is that Ixu's been a complete non-factor. He's been played around, but when you have this mid-turret down, the surprising thing is that Nagne can insta-wave clear, he can throw out his Q, and as Mickey, with his low AP value, is trying to match the wave clear, even if he channels the Destiny, Nagne's most of the way down to the engage, and often in a lot of cases going to be responding faster to side wave ganks than the Twisted Fate, which is super awkward.
Yes. Or he's going to find you.
Yep.
Like that.
Like that.
Well, the wards are in, the dragon is taken uncontested. KT starting to move forward with their gold lead.
Took a while. Remember, KT were behind at the start of this game as well, but we've finally seen the return of the KT that's taken them to the lofty spot of second spot in the last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah. The dive very clean there from KT. They missed some abilities, but still the decision-making behind it was good.
And scores Echo. It's a treat, especially a champion that, you know, has looked varying degrees of either poor or okay from other players. He really seems to master and pick up some of the strength that sees it so contested in other regions.
Yeah, I really like watching his Echo play too. I have to agree with you there. And now, attempt to clear out that wave is just too big for one culling. And Songyu, look at the setup. Oh, nearly gets the stun. He will land the Time Winder, and there is just too much damage. Crit lands from Arrow, and that'll be it. So a tower, a tier 2, a kill, and KT now moving forward with this Trinity Force. They are knocking on the gates at 18 minutes.
And this is the sort of game where Ixu might finish it 0-0-0 and just have had no impact because he's been completely played around by a Shen who, of course, can appear anywhere whenever he wants.
And the Black Cleaver not helpful, just going in onto Lear right there. Chrono breaks back out. Here comes the engage. Smart disengage from KT. They still have a Monsoon if they needed. Shen starting to get some damage onto the tier 2 in the mid lane, but they're not done yet. KT sticking around for a little bit.
There's no rush to back away. They have someday who can instantly respond in a multiple amount of different ways. And Anarchy being rode around the map there, a lot more in the hole than the 4,000, now 5,000 gold lead might suggest.
Well, that TP use from Ixu, very damaging. Great time to chrono break for score, and you can't commit to a TP like that when there's an Echo diving you, because he can instantly just get back out. You're not going to catch him, and now you are in the uncomfortable position of having to deal with both Stand United and TP from Someday. There's really nothing you can do.
And barring some colossal misplay around the Baron that really gave Anarchy a window back into the previous game, this should be another one for KT to add to the W column. So many things to play around, and Lich Bane, CDR boots, Twisted Fate just doesn't do anything when he can't handle even Shen in a split push situation.
Tough times for Anarchy and tough times for Ixu. So KT just turning back the aggression for a moment, but they can use this global advantage whenever they feel like it. They're trying to get the last remaining tier 1, the help of the Corki, and Ixu gonna have a lot of trouble here as Score and Peekaboo start to move forward and make sure that he can't split push safely.
Arrow's given up on the dream of the Bloodthirster, is going to go for the Blade of the Ruin Kings. Still goes for the lifesteal, safer option, but not so much budget spent on the defensive stats the Bloodthirster really provides. Ixu's like, please, all I have is my turret.
Uh-oh, here we go. Are we heading to Dive Town? Lots of poke. Arrow playing really aggressively, but no punishment from Ixu. He is nowhere near the Mega Gnar form. They're just going to have to give this one up. Ixu hops forward, takes the Lantern, and falls back. Meanwhile, Someday is just soloing Mickey down here.
3, 2, 1. Doesn't chase.
Yeah, doesn't chase that one. But Mickey just powerless. He has a Lich Bane, but he has no AP to actually back it up.
Doesn't do anything, can't split push against Shen, definitely can't lane against the Victor unless it's a very long lane. Even Corki will kind of shrug at him and all in him at this point, so Twisted Fate, that was the champion that eluded the pick ban as Score takes it takes take any damage, let's be real.
There is no damage, Papa Smoothie. I don't know if you are aware of this, but Anarchy actually does not have damage.
Are they healing like the Lux ultimate earlier? Someday steals away the red.
All red cards now heal from Twisted Fate. This gives you a nice blood transfusion.
I missed that patch note. Isn't that flat? I don't even know. It's been a while since I've been able to play League, so maybe it's all changed, Monte Cristo.
So, KT still looking for it. They want to pick Arrow. Arrow's just going to flash. Okay. Well, there's no damage, so...
That's something.
Oh, they're going to get on top of the Flash E, but the Stand United's still up, and the channel's going to complete. They're going to get knocked around. Ooh, they actually get Arrow in the end, so they make the pick work. Have to use some summoner spells to get it, but Anarchy had enough people stacked up there to make a play.
Oh boy, here we go.
I do not think that Anarchy can do this Baron right now, but they have to try. It's going to be the world's slowest Baron.
Only Infinity Edge, no other modifiers for damage whatsoever from Sung In. Lyra's not that tanky either. Mickey's trying to zone, but he's just going to die.
Yes, he will. Score's going to get into the pit right now and start stunning Snowflower. And there we go. Someday Actually, Mickey gets the Baron, but how many will they lose for it? Nagne is churning through a culling, actually flashes for the kill onto Songyun, double kill. Mickey gets out with the empowered recall. Ixu still alive.
3 for 2, 3 for a Baron's not ideal. It's not that bad, really.
Well, given their position, actually, that's pretty good. It's about all you could ask for. 17 seconds until Dragon. They're not going to be able to contest that, so third Dragon will go to KT.
1,500 gold, you know, actually brings the gold lead. Look, it's still significant, but not out of control like it would have been without that 1,500 gold. We'll have to watch. There's a lot happening with this Baron contest. Looking at the smites, both junglers had smite up, but neither picked it up.
Well, yeah, it was an early smite there. Actually got it down to 130 HP before Mickey actually hit it, which is surprising considering he does no damage, but he does pick it up. And so a secure on the Dragon will follow by KT for number 3.
Look, I admire Mickey's persistence. He realized that he needs damage, so not interested in one of those Zhonyas. They don't build out of enough damage. Split push is the way, and look, with the Baron buff and the fight AP, it's not the worst idea.
Yeah, Someday only now just starting to get some MR. He actually finished his Thornmail first, and there's no MR on to score either, so having a high amount of AP, maybe not the best, or the worst course of action, rather, in this particular situation. No hint of an Aegis from KT.
And look, he still could build a Zhonya into perhaps a Void Staff, but flat AP now, when team fighting's not his purview, just to try and clear some waves and keep up the pressure. If they can find a way to get closer in gold, this game is certainly not over for Anarchy, despite the fact that it's been all KT for the majority.
Well, credit to Anarchy, they actually did manage to steal a win in that last one through some nice skirmishing and some better late game decision making. So we also saw them against Jin Air. It looked like they couldn't win that game with Zed, but they actually managed to turn it around. So credit to them. They can have faith sometimes when they are behind or in a very bad situation.
It's more than you'd expect for a team in their predicament.
Absolutely.
With nothing to play, and it shows a lot of character. And that's one thing, Anarchy, you can say for the whole season. This team has character.
They definitely do. Well, score going to get hooked. No way to follow up on it, as Anarchy still has that Baron buff, so difficult for KT to push forward. Someday even chased out from that tower, so a slow crawl back into possible relevance here from Anarchy.
Still very unlikely. 3 dragons, completely shut out of that objective, have been Anarchy. The Baron gives them life, but then again, the Baron gave them life in the previous game, so...
I think more the Baron took away KT's life, Papa Smithy. I think that's actually the way to say that properly.
I like to give Anarchy the credit.
Okay.
They're fun.
You're a nice guy.
True.
Well, I suppose it's just time for some jungle clearing at the moment, as KT has waited out the Baron successfully. They actually still have one of their outer turrets in this game.
Awkward. It's
Yes.
the mid one. Of course, Nagne just kind of shrugs at the minion wave and it dies instantly.
Mickey's starting to get some damage, though. Death cap finally completed. Nagne's still waiting on his.
I just love the fact, again, we're coming back to Twisted Fate. This is a champion whose playstyle is tailored around the items that he picks up. So with the death cap, definitely no backline threat, but it's not a hyper carry, so you don't really need to rush the Zhonyas. You're able to kind of skirt the outsides and be a poke machine or a gold card machine and not have to commit into backline threat, because there's no real true backline from KT.
I don't know about that.
It'd be nice to assassinate the Victor, but
Yeah,
realistically...
the Victor is a kind of major concern.
I understand that, but at least he has some play, and he's strong in the split push with this build, of course, with the higher amount of flight AP. Of all the options he had to him cobbling together an item, I don't mind Death Cap in this specific situation.
Okay, well, the wave clear's still there from Mickey. And Songyun, following a light signal. Oh, they get Mickey so low. This is going to be the base broken. For sure, KT just powers their way through the low inhibitor turret. They came back to the one that they had chunked out earlier. The healing just not enough. Even, what, 10 minutes after they got that. They're going to try a kick here. No, says Score. And Ixu TP's into the side. unwise. And here we go, Someday into the backline right now. Score going to join him, stuns up Lyra. There's a Time Winder going across. Score actually going to fall though. There's Nagne, gets a good kill with his Death Ray, and Nagne just going crazy. Double kill already. Nice Gnar ultimate from Ixu. Double kill from Songyun. Arrow also will fall. Triples on both sides, Songyun and Nagne, but a preferential trade. I don't know about this. Okay, he's gonna get stunned. Can he actually live? No, it was a suicide mission for Mickey. Nagne trying to play around here with the minion wave.
Judge the rarity of his card wrong. It was not gold. It was fool's gold.
Fool's gold it was. Well, the cleanse was down, so if he had pulled gold, that would have been good.
Not to be.
Not to be. Well, Songyun, or Someday, not really afraid right now. He just wants to keep that wave pushed
look
up.
Look at the gold for Nagne. He's sitting on 4,000.
Let's take a look at this fight again.
Gonna watch the replay. Ixu just with a very ill-advised teleport. Didn't have the rage bar, didn't have the tanky stats. He spent so much on Black Cleaver. Nice zoning from both teams, but this ended up a really even fight after Score went down first.
Yeah, and Someday went in a bit too early there. He actually didn't have enough backup when he hit the flash taunt. So the staggered crowd control not doing so much work, but well played by Songyun. Oh.
Nagne's going to saunter back 9-0-3. Look at the items. He's got almost 6 items. He's got 5 completed items in 29 minutes.
He went back, finished the death cap, and then got the Void Staff as if he wasn't doing enough damage already.
Disgusting.
Yep, no Aegis either for Anarchy. Major problem right now.
Not big on Aegis, Monte Cristo.
Do you like Dragon number 4, Papa Smithy?
Oh, you know, it's a road to 5. It's Ixu, and everyone else is a squishy.
Okay, Ixu, you are very afraid. He actually has to flash away from a victor.
And the best thing about blowing Gna's flash, suddenly, even when he gets everything up, the Gna bar, the positioning, doesn't have the flash for the flash Naro.
Yeah, certainly will not. So Someday is the one who is chosen to actually take this dragon by himself, has the Stand United just in case he needs it. Still a little bit of a weird choice, but there we go. Arrow taking a bit of poke damage. They get another inhibitor turret, but still no inhibitors.
Will they tell tales of the ninja versus the dragon, Monte Cristo?
Okay, here we go. Here comes... Nope. I got excited for nothing.
Nope. Shen's really done a lot of damage to this dragon. He has actually done all right, really.
Oh, he stole it! Oh, that is huge!
That was sick.
For Anarchy, and the Shen solo dragon doesn't end up working out for KT.
I like how he was going to get over with the W, but got pushed by the Monsoon as well. Thanks, Peekaboo.
Well, he was trying to Monsoon so that he couldn't get into the pit in the first place.
Man, Lyra's pretty good at the Lee Sin. As KT trying to answer with the Baron. They still have teleport on Someday, and that's something that cannot be countered just because teleport, quarter of cooldown for Ixu, Stand United and teleport available for Someday.
Ixu now wanting to trade more aggressively with Nagne. Still a bit of a rough deal for this Gnar. And they're just going to back off and keep on clearing that wave. But what do you do against Someday now? You have 2 open inhibitors, and Someday is sitting there being a jerk split pushing with double globals.
I mean, when the teleport's back up, obviously you just casually send Gnar down there to, I guess, sort of lose in the war of attrition despite having the Black Cleaver. But for now, not much. They don't really have a lot of options in terms of team play just because, again, teleport, Stand United. If you ever overly commit to either an engage or stopping the split push, so many options for KT to punish it.
Yeah, Shen now walking down the mid lane. Took a look at the top, but realized that the wave is actually moving slowly towards Anarchy's side of the map. Okay. They're going to take some damage. Ixu going to take more. There's the phase dive. Coming in. They want to fight this. Mickey is zoned out on the side. What is he going to do? And Stand United will pop here. Score still once more. Time Winder scooped out, but not before Arrow lands the kill. 2 for none. KT moving through the enemy base. They're going to get 2 inhibitors off those kills.
They're not even giving up a pressure to end this game because the minion wave hasn't even arrived in the enemy base yet. So they take down the second inhibitor. They could have looked to take some of the base turrets, but not going to do that without the double minion wave pushing into the base. Backing up to pick up a lot of gold. things looking good for KT.
Yes, and they can just transfer immediately onto the Baron after taking this red buff. So everything going swimmingly for them right now. And Mickey he didn't even really have a chance to join that fight in any meaningful capacity. He found himself right underneath the Raptors, and if he had decided to walk through that choke, he would have just exploded.
He has the laning summoners as well. Flash Ignite is what you want for making plays, and in reality, when he goes for this split push build, there's just no plays to be made without a Zhonya's, without the Ghost, without even a cleanse for a defensive option. He just can't enter a fight at any point.
Yeah, Snowflower just blows Flash on Seeing Arrow.
He's done that a lot this game, actually.
Yeah.
The threat has been enough for him to use the Flash multiple times.
Yeah, and the Infinity Edge done. Great second item pickup. There's no armor. There's a Warden's Mail on the side of Anarchy, so just go for the big damage. That's what you need.
Infinity Edge, an underrated item on Corki, already has 40 flat armor penetration from his Gatling gun. Hook comes under someday, but he's not the guy you want to hook.
No. He has every single armor item now.
That's not true.
Well, pretty much.
Where's his Glacial Shroud?
Where's his GA? All right, fine. Well, here's a fight in any case, and Lyra not going to survive that one. Someday gets the flash back out instead of the flash engage. Ixu falling low on that Chaos Storm. They're going to change it to Songyu. Nice rocket for the finisher, and they can just go for this. Are they going to go for the last inhibitor or for the Baron? Here's a TP. Where is Shen going? He's coming right back in. Zoom, zoom. Somebody actually changed his enchant. He had the distortion, and now he has a home guard.
Well, soon he's going to have a victory because KT, 3 inhibitors down. Now, Peekaboo's tanking the tower. That's a bit of negation in terms of resources, and they're going to try and finish. Songyun still 18 seconds down.
Yeah, and Ixu gets an R, does some damage, but is too squishy to actually live. Score gets the Stand United on top. That'll save his life, at least for the moment. Nagne actually falls there, shut down for Mickey, but all is for naught. This Nexus is gone. KT ties it up 1-1 here on a much cleaner game than the first one.
Nagne, in particular, 13-1-5, took over this game, only died in the final inconsequential seconds. KT, a little bit hairy at the start, actually. The Anarchy had a small advantage, but then nice control jungling, and there's a reason why we always highlight Score on Echo. He's very good at this champion, which is a unique pick in Champions.
Yeah, others have tried it. Few have been so successful, and I think to a certain degree, Pops, we should stop questioning his ability to gank on Echo because he just finds ways that other junglers don't.
He's very smart with that W positioning, so even if he doesn't have the